Alrighty, everyone. This is this is a serious and again, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't planned. This will be the last one. This is only going to be on one topic, literally one topic, North Korea. And my Discord doesn't even know I'm doing this video because I got DM'd by someone that says he's a journalist. He didn't say for who or what he's doing. You know, this could be for whoever he's working for, or it could be it could be his own documentary or his own work that he's doing, maybe for a book or something. I don't know. He didn't say, but we had a talk, and through my chatting, he mentioned stuff that I know he's been researching this because he's mentioned stuff that someone that has spent a lot of time would probably end up finding out and knowing. Not your casual, researcher or anything. So I'm assuming he's probably an investigative journalist, maybe independent. I don't know, but anyway, enough of that. That's what brought this apart. No one from chat, no one from my chat, brought it. They don't even know this yet. I'll probably tell them after it's done. But anyway, in my past video, my last video, I did casually mentioned about North Korea being blamed a lot for malware. 28 years I have been doing this. I mean, there's not much I don't know about security as a whole, and that's just because of the breadth of stuff that I've had to learn and do, over the past 28 years. But my sole focus and everything has always been on my specialty, if you will, has been on attributing malware to someone. I would say foreign nations, but no, I find a piece of malware. It could be anything. But if it's malware, I reverse engineer it, study it, compare it to a database, if you will. It's a special database, but it's a beta with a whole bunch of signatures that identifies malware in a lot of various different ways. Uh, each each piece of malware, I have a signature for everything, for the head of it, for different parts inside of it and everything, different code segments, the date, all the sections, of the headers and everything. They each got their own signature. So yeah, I can tell one piece of malware, even if a function has been changed. If it's a function that reaches out to the internet, now I don't map every function in a piece of malware, but if it's a function that doesn't call to the internet, and stuff like that, basically reaches out, then I have mapped that function. So if this piece of malware gets copied by someone else and they change that function to do something else, let's say, I'm going to, when I run across it, I'm going to know it. It's going to identify, my software is going to identify that piece of malware. It's going to identify that it's been changed. And when I put it in my reverse engineering software, it's going to take me right to the change. It's going to diff the two exes or programs, whatever, and it's going to find the parts that have been changed and everything, and show me right. All I got to do is click on it and take me right to it. This is not the software the software that I use to reverse engineer. This is not it doesn't do this natively, this particular thing, because this is a plugin that I have programmed and stuff specifically for this, pertaining to what I know that my software that identifies these different sections and stuff, it's going to do. My plugin is the only one that can do it. And that's why, again, these are one of the many things that make me unique. That's all. Like I said, I've been doing this for quite a long time. And like I also said in my previous video, I study politics, finance, and everything for a lot of the major countries, a lot of major players out there, and even some of the lesser ones, because I don't gotta invest that much time into the lesser ones. They're there's not a lot lot to them, but Russia, China, Israel, there's a there's a lot going on with all of them. Not only their economy and finance, but war and border disputes and everything else. So there's a lot to keep up with. The major players. Now that I laid that groundwork, let's get to the quick part. There's a lot of stuff, as usual, that I can't say. Um, yes, I'm gonna mention. Well, let's get this out of the way real quick. I went all over AS autonomous systems in the last video, pretty in depth, and I showed you a little hack insight into how I hide when I'm going into a very volatile territory like the deep web and stuff like that. When I know someone's gonna try to backtrack me, my IP that I have. Obviously it's not my own IP. It's going through a VPN, but or someone else's computer I'm using as a jump. But the backtracks are not going to work, and you can watch that video to find out why. But this is how I'm going to put this, because I told him I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to explain to him everything, because answers. I talked about this in my previous video. I charge for answers. I respect that the work that he's doing. Like I said, I might sound like unethical, and I might do unethical things, but I'm not hurt. My unethical things aren't causing harm to anyone, even the bad guys. I did an unethical thing in the past video, but that's just to hide myself from being backtracked. That's it. That was all it was for, and nothing else. And so I do stuff like that, and it furthers my research. I'm able to do my research, and my OPSEC is pretty solid. So anyway, my thoughts on why North Korea isn't. Well, you look right here, you see there's only two ASs that serve North Korea. And North Korea only has one AS. That's it. One AS for the whole country. Now, it's not that big of a country, but still, only one. And over here, this is their graph. Now, what do we hear first when we hear news reports of Korea? Well, when they say that North Korea is doing it, because, and I know what people are going to say. Oh, just because they got one AS, that don't mean nothing. And you should know that. Well, yeah, I do know that. And I probably know whoever's saying that to me, I probably know a shitload more than you do. So I wouldn't be taught. I would just shut up if I was you, to be frank. But yes, they could use foreign infrastructure and proxies and VPNs like any other hacker would do. And they always say that, they get help. Russia and China are helping them. Well, okay. Obvious DS, dip, and I'll let you fill in the rest, the S part. Um, Nice observation, Einstein, because this 131 297. That's too damn big of a number. But anyway, this is their AS. Well, who are the only two ASs that they can talk to? Well, this one right here, let's just say the 544 and the 408. Well, this one is, guess what? China. And this one is, guess what? Russia. So, they're the only two companies or countries in the whole world that connect an AS to them. So, they've got no choice. It's not like North Korea said, you know what? I bet you China or Russia will help us. No, they don't have a choice in the matter, because China and Russia are the only two that are even servicing them. So they got to use one of the two, plain and simple. Like I said, I don't want this to be a long video, because we could get into compromised devices, collaboration with allies, the very few that North Korea have. And, use of dark web and anonymous networks and stuff like that. Again, that's getting into a whole nother 2 hour video to explain all of that. But that's not likely because North Korean hackers aren't that experienced. Forget what the media tells you. They're lying, plain and simple. I've chatted to with a few of these people on the dark web. They're like India. They're like India people. What's India's thing? Not hacking. Yeah, there's a little bit of hacking that comes out of it. If you know anything about anything in India, their biggest market is scamming. Their tech with what there's about 5 or 6 different scams they run, but their biggest that they run is support scamming for Netflix, for Amazon, for HP printers, for Disney, for Microsoft support. Microsoft is a really big one. That's like probably like their number one. And their target is usually old people because old people are retired, they have the money, and they don't understand tech at all. These, this, I would say it pisses me off, but what are you going to do? I mean, but anyway, guy or girl, this this video is for you to. I told you I'd put this video out to try to put you at least in the right direction. Like I help my students. This video is for you, but it's going to be public available on the internet so the rest of the people can see it. Because I am a cybersecurity teacher, and so this is teaching material. But again, without diving any further, I'm gonna for all my students and for you two people also that happen to casually watch this. Um, this is what I want to show when forget North Korea for this moment. Look at this graph. This is why I like Obsidian, but this is a specific graph on ASs. Um, look at how look at it. There's a perfect circle around this whole thing right here. Doesn't that look funny? Uh, why is all of this encapsulated in a bubble? Um, looks closed off to me, doesn't it to you? And what does China have? China's internet has got you might call it a big wall around it because they don't want their people discovering the outside world, even through the internet. And it looks like all of these ASs inside here are within China's domain. But they do get out to the world, because even the government has to get out, also, so they need a way out too. But that provides the way for others to get out, if they're smart enough and use VPNs and learn about, a little about hacking themselves, which they do, they know it and it's going on. That's a whole other area for, security research, especially, ethical hackers and stuff that want to help the Chinese people, discover the outside world. And, it's, again, that's even another area. But look at this right here. Both this little subnet right here that's helping North Korea get out to the world. It's only through one provider. After going through all of this and everything, the way to the outside world for North Korea is only out this one provider right here. And who's it? I'm not going to get into the business ethics of this, and this is a whole again. This is another whole video. Um, but I can tell people are not liking the stories no more because I guess it's because I don't have the fancy graphics and motion graphics and stuff. But we marvel over it right here, and it's Sprint, and you're like, why would Sprint be involved? You're like this. That doesn't make sense. I mean, we're talking China and Russia here. How much fucking shit does the U.S. spew out about cybersecurity and hacking and everything? And it's these three always right here in this little circle at the beginning of this bubble: North Korea, China, and Russia. And who is the sole provider right here in this little bubble that has given them access to the outside internet? Well, one company, Sprint. Interesting, isn't it? Makes you go, But anyway, moving on. That's not a rabbit. That's a dinosaur hole. That's that's a chasm if you want to go down that hole. But let's move on to this right here. 134544. China. We'll get to Russia next. This is China. Again, there's only two here. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Look at the IP addresses. North Korea's got a /22 CIDR, 1,024 version 4 IP addresses. Well, actually, 927, but I didn't explain this guys to you to depth in the last one. But look at no uh, version 6 at all. It's only version 4, and there's only 1,024. 1,024 hosts possible for a whole country. That's not a lot of access. The government, the North Korean government probably has the majority of these, if not all of them. But yeah, guys, that's just not a lot of internet to go around in the country. Um, so yeah, that's a funny thing there too. But look over here. You know, China's got a lot more than this, obviously. But this, like I said, this is one of their, this is their ASP that's right next to North Korea. That's all that is. They've got plenty more. But as far as them, you know, keeping an eye out on North Korea, this is why all of this is really small, because it's still a bottleneck for North Korea. You can see right here, the next hop is this 4837, which is right here on my tabs. And that literally says China Unicom backbone. So if I was to go over here, again, we got this little wall going on. All of these ASs in China are all surrounded by this. And this is another funny thing right here too. You only got 4 ASs that are breaking out to the broader global internet from here. But look at this one up here at the top, the 3320. Who is that? Well, that's Deutsche Telekom. Now, that leads down an interesting rabbit hole, too, if you research that and going forward. But there's some more funniness here. Telecom Italia, Sparkle. That's also another one. And this is really an interesting one. Telefonica Global Solutions. And lastly, you guys seen this plenty of times in my previous video. This Sweden AB, $12.99. If you get into studying ASs, memorize this AS number, AS1299. It's like Blackstone in the stock market. If you guys are familiar with private equity firms and the name Blackstone, well, as far as ASs go, this AS 1299 is a Blackstone version of ASs. But you can see the problem here. I can end this video right now. The avenues that North Korea has to get out. I mean, even I, I could hide if I was in North Korea and was a hacker, and then North Korea was on my side. I didn't have to worry about them, finding me or anything. You know, even I, with my knowledge, would be limited on what I can do. Right here, simply because of the access. Yeah, I have access. It's a huge freaking bottleneck. But yeah, I got access. I got stuff that I can do and everything. But um, it would be much better like if I lived in the States or Europe or anywhere else other than here, and the internet was just wide open to me. You know, 360 degrees all the way around, anywhere I wanted to go. You know, life would and life as a hacker would be a whole lot easier because if anyone was really, 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 seriously pissed off about North Korea and their hacking, whether it be Europe, the U.S., the UN, anyone, you can see right here by this graph, this one graph, shutting them off would be absolutely 100% equivocally no problem at all. Be very easy, almost like with a flip of a switch. So anytime you see from now on, something get blamed on North Korea, just raise an out, be like Dwayne Johnson, raise that one little eyebrow of yours, going, really? Is that what we're going to do here? Because this whole story, even when you go further out, this is this, this one right here. Yeah, like 9381. You see, where is this one over here? Yeah, I'll let you guys figure that out. Uh, I'm not going to tell you, but yeah, for the journalist, this is the problem. And again, like I said, you know, if you're going to go down this path, and if you're going to talk to anybody, um, they're going to bring up three scenarios as evidence that North Korea, does hack and everything. And obviously, you're going to hear mention of Lazarus Group, APT 38. And you're going to hear mention of the 2014 Sony hack, the 2016 Bangladesh bank heist. That's almost laughable. And the WannaCry ransomware attack in 2017. There's already been a person blamed for the WannaCry ransomware, and I'm not going to get into that either. That's old news also, but um, like I said, you're going. It's going to be you're not experienced in this, okay? If you get into a debate or an argument over this with someone that you're talking to and everything, that's brainwashed by the media and what the media is saying and everything, it's going to be hard for you to defend a point because you don't know where you're talking from. You have information, but it's got you don't you can't form into a weapon. You can't put it all together because this is not your area. This 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 is hardly anyone's area because attributing malware is very difficult because of VPNs and people being anonymous and all this other stuff that you can do with Tor and all this different shit and everything. Um, but you see, this is why I got into hacking because I wanted to find out where this malware was coming from so I can attribute, for my own. This was before, the DOD and their subcontractors and stuff, God, but was I just wanted to know this myself. Um, but to do that, and this is where, this is why I say that, you can't be a really, really good researcher if you're going to be ethical because there's going to come a time, if you want to reach your goal, that being nice and ethical and I don't want to hurt you or harm you and everything, it just doesn't fly no more because again, you're chasing someone, you got rules and you're chasing someone that doesn't is playing the game and they don't have rules. you know it's like you're playing chess with them and you're moving your pieces the way they're supposed to be moved, but he's not. He takes a pawn from the other side of the board, and he takes a pawn from the A column and goes all the way over to the F column and takes one of your men. And he's like, well, no, yeah, that might not be your rule, but that's my rule. That's how I play. If you want to play, if you want to play with me, these are my rules. If you don't, well, go play with someone else. And that's what ethical hackers are up against. Literally, that's what you're up against. It's like, look, guy, you got rules. I don't. Um, you want to fight? You want to try to defend me? Okay, that's fine. And you want to stick to your little rule that your knight can only go up and over well, okay, cool. But that's not how I play. I play whatever. If I got a piece and I want to take one of your pieces, I just pick one and take it. Um, welcome to my game. But anyway, now that nonsense is over, I hope you got my point on this whole thing. And I wasn't going to do this, because it was just you and everything. But I got thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I have I have said that North Korea blamed on this stuff as a bunch of BS a few times in my videos. Um, so I go, maybe it does deserve a little bit of explanation just to open some people's eyes on what the problem is here. um, it's not me just saying BS, you know, with nothing to back it up. I've got plenty to back it up. And if anybody, if anybody wants to debate me in this, feel free, buddy. Um, if you haven't spent some years in studying North Korea and their hacking ability, along with China, Russia, Israel, the United States, and other places and everything, you really don't stand a chance because it's just not North Korea. You got to defend your debate side on. You got to defend all them other people too because they're competitors. You know, you think no, you can't just debate against North Korea as if they're the only ones that are putting out malware. Period. What? You don't think Russia and China is putting out malware or hacking people or hacking companies, large companies? I'm talking. You don't think China's not hacking for IP of very large corporations and enterprises and stuff? And by IP, I mean intellectual property, not an internet IP. So I just want to clarify that for anyone that's woke out there that wants to bring that up, can't think straight. Yeah, intellectual property. That's what China's after, and that's what they hack for. And we all know what Russia hacks for. So each country, has their own little specialty. Yes, they hack in other areas too. They do other stuff, but each one, like me with my malware, each one has their area that they focus in the most on. And in a way, North Korea doesn't have a focus. They do have to, vary. They have to get, whatever they, if they're picking fruit from a tree, they have to pick whatever they can get. It's going to be low hanging fruit, um, and easy pickings and stuff like that because they've got no other choice. They're severely limited, in what they can do, compared to China and Russia and everybody else. China and Russia and everybody, like I said, with me, all the other countries and everything out there, they've got the whole internet open to them, 360 degrees, anywhere they want to go. Um, North Korea doesn't have that. You know, they've got like a 5% opening into the internet, and that's the only path they have out of their country as far as the internet goes, and that's a very 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 small slice uh, of the pie. You know, if you want to put it in that perspective, but with that, guys, um, You know, we don't need to go on. By the way, I can show you where we at. We're on the first of it. I can go over here to Korea. You can see this is North Korea, Democratic Republic of Korea, and this one right here that I went to, that's China. Oh, I don't need that. And let's go back over to AS info. That's Russia, like I said. And man, I can't. And obviously that's in the name, China. And this right here, we'll show you guys. And that's in Hong Kong. And that's, I know you guys don't know, but but anyway, I want to show you guys. You saw the right here. I'm going to show you the bit 1024 IP addresses. Let's look at China's backbone. This back 58,950,000 IP addresses for China's Unicom backbone. That's this one right here. So yeah, this one, if you was hacking, you can do some stuff with this. How about let's go back over here. How about we take this 58,950,000 IP addresses and give those to North Korea and then see what they can do? How about we do that, huh? Is anybody for that? You think we'll see a difference if we expand them from their little 1024 IP addresses and give them 58 million? You don't think that'd be beneficial? Okay, as they say, you get the picture. As as a famous line was said in Glengarry Glen Ross by Alec Baldwin.
You get the picture?
If you guys watch that movie, you get it. He says that in the office to all the low life telemarketers that he's putting down and everything. He goes, "You get the picture?" Basically, you're going to be fired. But anyway, guys, this is another short one. Well, in my version of short. That's about all I can say on this. I hope this helps you out, guy. But it's just, if you take it and run with it, it's definitely going to lead you down, a path. And for anyone else on YouTube that's watching this video and want to dive into this area again, this is getting into foreign nation hacking and foreign nation groups and stuff like that. It's a really advanced topic to get into, which is really above the heads of my people, but I wanted to open their eyes on what's ahead for them, look a glimpse into the future, and this will all be changed by the time they get there because they've got this is like 4 or 5 years down the road from them where they're at now, and so obviously the whole landscape will look a whole lot different than even this now. Who knows? Anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to close it off here. We'll get this video uploaded for my man, and and keep me up to date. If you're writing an article or you're posting anything, DM me in chat and send me the link if you're going to put a poster up, or if it's a book, whatever it is. If you're doing something, send me a link to it and I'll pick it up. And with that, guys, I'll see you guys later.